Chapter 5, New House Tour and Awareness Survey. Main's island apartment complex had over 150 units. She only lived in the penthouse. Neju moved into her own unit because they couldn't have all the girls living together anymore. Eri helped her settle in. Then she helped Ryoko settle into her unit. Then she visited Main. My apartment is way too big without all the people in it. I visited the other girls and asked if they would stick with Sana. Obviously, they confirmed that they would, and when I asked them individually if they thought that Sana would stay with the GP, they all answered more or less, what else would he do? Main, who heard the responses they gave, responded with a dry laugh without any intonation. That reminds me, Main, you were the one who made Sana sign up to join the GP. Yeah, and you kept me from being promoted because of it. Main said, glaring at Eri. If you still want to become a first-class detective, I'll give you a letter of recommendation. Not now. I'm part of the crew of the Kamadake. This is worth more to me than being a first-class detective. I get to handle way bigger things. Well, that's true. Eri gave a shrug. I'm hungry. Make something. Well, it's a bit early, but it's supposed to be dinner soon. Main opened a monitor to order from Nashisu. I don't want to eat my own food. Can you cook something? So, she and Main went into the kitchen and Main tried her best. But clearly, she wasn't a good cook. Eri arrived to help Kariko move in. She was feeling sick from having eaten Main's cooking. Kariko made her some tea and gave her some candy from Japan. Eri asked her the same thing as the other girls and got more or less the same answer. Why were you so opposed to him being here at first? On Earth, people treated Sana like an outcast as if his bad luck was a disease. They ostracized him. No matter who came into his life, one by one they would leave until he was alone. That's not true. He was never alone. He always had you. And my brother Kai. In fact, they became best friends thanks to his easygoing personality. He was stubborn enough not to care about others' warnings. Despite Sana's bad luck, they were inseparable. It sounds like his luck has changed for the better. Good friends are hard to find. I got to know Sana because Kai would bring him to the house every day after school. What stuck out most to me was how often he would fall down, but he never stopped smiling. I remember one day his parents came to pick him up and his mother was upset. I couldn't understand why until I learned she was crying out of joy, not sadness. She was so glad Sana had finally made a real friend. I remember thinking, if someone as gentle as Sana could be ostracized to the point that he only had one friend, there wasn't much hope for the world. I'm impressed. That's an astute observation for a young girl to make. That day, I vowed that he would never be alone again. I wanted to protect him so badly and to show him that I really understood. I wanted to show him that someone accepted him for who he was. But I didn't. Sito was the one who told him his bad luck was an asset. I treated it like a handicap. No, worse, I treated him like he wasn't even there. I felt like it was my responsibility to look after him all the time, and I resented him for that. So, I went to space. I didn't want him here with me. But I've realized that him being in space with me and the others is the only real chance he has of having a good life. He will forever need a group of 4 people around him if he doesn't want to have bad luck. It sounds like a curse. For Sana-chan, it's the key to his freedom, and it's not too revolting a concept. Hakuren's here and Fuku-chan is also here, Aka is pretty, and Main is pretty. I think it might be kind of enjoyable. There was no sadness in her eyes anymore. She smiled. Yeah, well then. Eri looked at her. Hey, Kariko-chan. Yes. Do you think there's room in there for me? How about it? Absolutely not. I refuse. Eri cried as she handed her report to Sito. All right, quit crying and wipe your face already. Sito handed a handkerchief to Eri with a tired face. She gave the sticky handkerchief back to Sito. Sito threw it into the transfer gate for the laundry. Well, as you expected, everyone answered the same. Sorry, the report is so boring. I don't think any of the girls would refuse the idea of marriage if we proposed it.